Oh my god. Alright, so I am not going to follow any specific tutorial or TikTok video, anything like that. I feel like I've watched enough of these just scrolling mindlessly through my phone before I fall asleep at night for the techniques to be pretty much embedded in my subconscious at this point. So I'm just gonna do it freehand by myself. I feel like it's pretty useless to follow makeup tutorials, particularly eye makeup tutorials, letter by letter anyway, unless you happen to have the same exact eye shape as the person doing the tutorial. There's always some sort of tweaking that you're gonna have to do to the technique to adapt it to your own unique eye shape and face shape, like the whole balance. So that's why I feel like most of the time it's better to just experiment on your own rather than spending hours on end trying to find that one perfect tutorial with someone that has the same exact features as you, which may not even exist. Anyway, I do have foundation on. It's just my Kogendo My Fancy Aqua foundation. I applied it a few hours earlier today because I meant to film this video earlier, but then we got sidetracked, but that's okay. I'm going to just touch up a little bit with concealer. So this is a new concealer that I purchased. Well, this is a concealer that I purchased finally because I haven't had a concealer. I haven't purchased a concealer in God knows how long. I feel like I just have an aversion to them. I think my logic is that I can always just layer up foundation, or I can use this really old Shiseido Spots Cover foundation. It says foundation, but it's actually a concealer. I attempted to declutter this so many times and yet somehow I can never bring myself to do it at the end of the day because it's almost a full pot, as you can tell, but it's not the right shade, you know, like the ring light is washing it out right now, but once I get this on my skin it's at least 2 or 3 shades darker than my natural skin tone. So yeah, pretty excited that I finally found a concealer that I deemed worthy of spending my coin on in 01 Natural. So as you can see, this is a dual-sided concealer. There's a stick side and a liquid side. I've tested both sides out before. They both worked great. I really like this formula. It doesn't crease or crepe on me, and I feel like it has pretty decent coverage. It's funny because I first saw this concealer in a makeup shop in my local department store, Parco. I didn't buy it on the spot because I wanted to go back home and do some research first before I bit the bullet, but then the next day when I came back, they had recalled all of the tier concealers from the shelves. The cushion foundations were still there, so I also want to try out this brand's cushion foundation. Actually, they come in these egg-shaped compacts, red, white, and black cases. I forget which one is supposed to stand for which formula, but yeah, those are on my radar as far as new foundations to possibly try. So yeah, the tier foundations were all still there, but the concealers had all been recalled for some reason. I didn't read the note super closely. It said something about a defect with the manufacturer. But then later on, when I was passing through Shinjuku Station on some other business, I went into a makeup shop and they had the tier concealers there. So I just bought it from that shop instead because I really wanted to try it. I was actually pretty annoyed that they recalled it. But anyway, look at how smoothly that blended out. And I'm gonna put it on the corners of my mouth too to give my lip line more definition. It's good to blend this with a sponge as well, but this is just what I have on hand right now, this clean foundation brush. And then I'm gonna cover this little scar here, which is not a beauty mark, because you guys know I only have beauty marks on this side of my face. This thing is the remnant of a pimple that I got all the way back in March. It was actually when I was in Boston for my work trip. I don't want to talk about it. We're just gonna cover her and keep it moving. So thank goodness I have this concealer right now to help me out. For eyeshadow, I wanted to use one of my new Sheepy Dressy Shadow quads. I put up a swatch video of these a few weeks ago, but believe it or not, I have yet to apply them on my eyelids. This is 01 Caramelize and this is 02 Peach Tart. I know they look almost identical, but this one is slightly more yellowy beige, just like the name suggests. So I think I want to use this one today, Caramelize, because I want to try this new yellow blush that I got from Lethal Cosmetics. So I feel like this tone of brown would lend itself to yellows and oranges a little better than the Peach Tart one. You already ate a lot. Young lady, don't talk back to me. Okay, we're primed and let's go in with this medium shimmery brown at the top here. Since the ratio of this quad is like two shimmery colors, one matte and one topper shade. I'm just gonna use the shimmer all over the lid as a base shade because I have no other choice. Yeah, so that's very, very pigmented. Let me switch to a fluffier brush. And then we're going to deepen up the edges with the matte burnt caramel shade. Wow, that is some pretty intense pigment there. Just a little pro tip if you have flatter eyes like me and you want to make them look more dolly or rounded, when you blend into the inner corner, you want to go straight instead of following the curve of your eye. Because if you have smaller or more slanted eyes, like it slants at a slope here, the way that mine do, if you follow like the edge of your eyelid really closely with the eyeshadow, it's just going to emphasize that curve or that slope even more, which is not a wrong technique by the way, but like I was saying, if you're looking to create the more dolly rounded eye look, it's better for you to blend it out straight like this, because then that way it will give you a more lifted effect in the inner corner. Okay, so this eyeshadow is like not the easiest to blend, I have to say. Part of that could also depend on the eyeshadow primer that you use, but I feel like for both the colors that I laid down so far, neither of them want to blend or diffuse out no matter how many times I go over it with a brush. So that's just one thing to be careful of. Okay, and then I'm just going to dust some of this yellowy caramel shimmer up here. Tap off the excess first. Sweep it really, really lightly over like the very top of my lids, almost connected to the brow bone. I'm gonna take the yellow gold glitter top coat and sprinkle that across the same area right at the top of the lid where the matte brown and the caramel shimmer meet. And then using a more detailed pointed pencil brush, I'm going to also bring that glitter into the inner corner. And I kind of like it exaggerated a lot because I don't really have much natural contour around my eyes as it is, so I like to exaggerate where I can with my actual eyeshadow. Look at this glitter though, look at how much it lifted up when I picked it up with that pencil brush. Yeah, we're just gonna push her back in there, but I appreciate that it does lift up because that means you can actually get it out of the pan, unlike some formulas that are just so prone to hard pan. Okay, so here's where the meat and potatoes of the entire Douyin Asian doll makeup technique lies, and that is in the creation of the tear bags. What we're gonna do, I picked out a nice caramel toned gel liner. This is from Odin's Eye Solmane collection. This is in 012 golden brown, and I think it will complement today's eye look nicely. I wish it were just one or two shades lighter, but it's okay, we can work with this. So what we're gonna do right now is we're going to basically fake a lower lash line so that it ends lower than your actual lash line. So we're gonna start in the inner corner right underneath your real lashes. Slowly as you move out, you want to extend the line straight instead of following your natural curve. You see the theme in this makeup, it's all about like extending certain lines and creating your own shapes basically. Okay, I probably should have sharpened this a little bit beforehand. You know, they have a built-in sharpener on the end of the pencil here. I'm not going to use this though because I feel like it would just be a mess, and like what if I want to carry this around in my makeup bag? I don't want the shavings to fall all over the inside of my bag, so I'm just going to sharpen it the grade school way by running it across a post-it, which is how most people sharpen gel liners, I think. But yeah, so now that we have a nice fine point, just run that one more time across the line. Okay, so that's our new lash line, right? And then we want to draw an additional line under that to create the aegyosal or tear bag effect, and in Japanese it would be called namida bukuro. And this one you want to make slightly lighter. If you have a liner that's specialized for drawing tear bags, I would recommend using that, but since I don't have one on hand, I'm just going to use the same one. And then finally, this is going to be the final like Douyin technique part of the look. Everything remaining is just regular steps. So I'm going in with a liquid brown eyeliner at this point, and I'm going to actually draw on some fake lashes on the edge of that fake lash line we created. You can actually use real individual lashes for this part. I don't have the energy for that tonight, so we're just going to use the drawing technique. That looks kind of crazy. This could go very wrong. I feel like that looks kind of spidery and crazy, but it could have been worse, right? Maybe it'll look better once I have my false lashes added on top. You know, honestly, it would be great if I had an even lighter brown liner. I don't want to go out and buy one unless I'm sure that this is going to be like a common thing for me to do this makeup. It's okay for like social media content, I think, to use the slightly darker brown. Just add some gold to further accentuate the tear bag. Tightline with a beige fleshy tone. This is ColourPop's Cream Gel Liner in Honey Dude, which I've had for like almost 5 years at this point. Okay, so while that glue dries, I'm gonna get started on my left eye. I am going to film this one too, just in case it turns out better than my right eye. That's the YouTube life hack that I figured out after doing this all these years. I would always get frustrated that the eye that I filmed myself demonstrating the application on would always turn out to look slightly inferior to the other eye, like no matter which eye I chose to do. I realized one day that I could just film both and pick the one that I liked in the end. But I'm not going to talk you through this eye, of course, because I already put you through that once. So let's convene back here after I'm done with my eyes to finish up with cheeks and lips. Okay, while I'm waiting for my left eyelash to dry, I'm going to do lips with Shibi Shibi's Fua Matte Lip Tint in Rich Almond, number 02. I usually just like smear it all over the center of my lips, push them together like that a couple of times, and then diffuse the edges with a Q-tip. Not the most economical technique, but let me tell you, I love the way the final effect turns out. Now, my dear friends, we are ready for the final step, kind of like low-key, high-key, the part that I'm most excited for, which is yellow blush. Kind of funny that this is what I'm most excited to try out in this video, even though the whole point of Douyin makeup is centered around the eyeshadow technique, but yeah. Oh, the eyes are done, by the way. You might have noticed that I skipped a step that a lot of the girls do, which is to extend their eyeliner into the top inner corner of their eye. My eye shape is just not built for that. Trust me, I've tried it a million different ways. It just never comes out looking right. I think because the epicanthal fold or whatever is just like super hooded in the inner corner of my eye, so even if I were to, I mean, I'm sure if I played around with it enough, I would be able to find a technique or a way for me to pull it off. That's just not gonna happen tonight. I think we've done enough tonight with the extremely grossly exaggerated lower lash line. Like, wow. This looks so ridiculous and fake right now in person, you would not even believe. But no, if I were to do this again, I would definitely be a little more subtle about the lower lash line next time. Maybe not extend it as far or as low. A lighter brown pencil shade would help as well. Although I think this shade would still be fine as long as I don't extend it so far away from my actual eyeline. Without further ado, let's get to my little wild card of this entire look. I picked up the Lethal Cosmetics Magnetic Face Powder in the shade Neophyte, which is this gorgeous marigold yellow. Yes, I totally purchased this on a whim. As some of you might already have seen from my Instagram and shorts videos, I did purchase the new Lethal Cosmetics 1-Up palette, and I decided to throw a few other things in my cart while I was at it, this being one of them. It's like a very rich marigold yellow. Do I even have a clean face brush? Probably not. You know what? I'm just gonna use this cheapy one from Shein. I feel like this is pigmented enough to be an eyeshadow. Very, very powdery, lots of kick up, but yeah, this is what's gonna set me apart from all those other Douyin makeup tutorials, you know? There's a lot of them out there right now on social media, but How many of those girls do you see using yellow blush? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just kidding. I'm sure there are other people using yellow blush. Why do I keep on piling more? This is plenty pigmented already. Just blend what you already have, Ren. Why is this actually kind of super cute? Okay, I'm gonna put some on the edge of my nose as well, in keeping with the top TikTok makeup trends of today. Voila! This is our finished look. I feel like one of those creepy left behind dolls in some sort of abandoned, dilapidated carnival or something. Oh, one more thing I forgot to add about the eye technique. So this is a lesson learned, I guess you could say. After the initial application, I did go back and erase this area that I originally placed glitter all over. So I covered my entire inner corner at first with the gold glitter in kind of like a solid L shape. And I realized after drawing in the tear bag line that it was kind of throwing off the illusion of a natural looking tear bag. So I decided to erase the whole thing and split the glitter into two areas, right? Like one in the inner corner and one just concentrated on what would be the puffiest part of a tear bag, so that way it looks more natural. Not that anything about this look is natural, but you know what I mean. This was super fun actually, even though it took a lot longer than I was anticipating. I thought that this was going to be a super short, casual, spontaneous video, but I've been sitting here filming and trying to pull this whole look together for the past 5 hours. I'm not even joking. But yeah, hopefully now that I kind of know what to expect or what to do, it won't take me as long in the future. I do want to try this Douyin or Asian TikTok makeup style again with different color schemes, different lash styles, changing up the techniques a little bit as well just to see what I can come up with. I do enjoy these types of techniques that are geared more towards maximizing Asian features and Asian cuteness, I guess you could say, over the Western beauty trends that are popular on social media right now. I mean, I think that the clean, glossy, natural aesthetic is in across the board in both the Western and Asian beauty spheres, but I just feel like the Western style is a little bit boring. I don't know, like I want that extra oomph that the Asian beauty techniques offer. You know, it's kind of interesting because I feel like everyone pretty much agrees that Asian makeup in general is focused way more on natural beauty, emphasizing really nice skin, using really natural colors, being very conservative with the pigmentation and all of that. But this Douyin makeup style is kind of a paradox, right? Because it's like natural looking on first glance, but in a way that like a perfect android doll would look if she did natural makeup. You know what I mean? It kind of has that uncanny valley effect. Like, okay, you look really natural in terms of color stories and textures and whatnot, but then features wise, you look like an actual android or doll, because very few humans are actually born with features like this, and few humans have completely poreless skin that is devoid of any types of bumps or divots or imperfections like that. Is it high-key kind of a toxic, problematic look to aspire to? Yes. But am I obsessed with it? Also yes. So I don't really know what to tell you there. Okay, well, I guess this is a good place to end the video. So thank you for hanging out with me as usual. Tell me if you've ever tried this style of makeup before. If you have any tips or tricks of your own that you would care to share with me, please leave it down in the comments. I would love to know. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!